Lightning, texting, hippos, airplanes, volcanoes, autoerotic fixation, shopping on Black Friday, falling out of bed, bathtubs, coconuts, deers, icicles, hot dogs, tornadoes, jellyfish, dogs, ants, high school football, vending machines, and roller coasters are all things that kill more people annually than sharks. Leave the sharks alone. This week's review is on The Devil Inside. The main plot of this movie is that a daughter trying to find out what happened to her mother. Now, it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. They go down the rabbit hole, things just go nuts. Now this is another one of those low-budget, hand-at-cam movies, which budget of like $1 million, but it makes like $28 million. And I eat those movies up, because those movies feel more real to me, and that's why they do them that way. Like, kind of like Cloverfield, but Cloverfield was done for like 25 mil. But Cloverfield has that, you're in the action, you're there, it's a more of a personal feel, I think, than actually watching the movie. Now, there's a lot of movies that are really good that put you in the movie, but when it's a hand-at-camera kind of like shot where you're in it, I feel like it's easier to get yourself in the movie. As of right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it is actually only getting 7%, but the movie has just came out, so I feel like not everyone has weighed in completely yet because it's only been like 2 days. I feel like 7% will shoot way up in a couple days, maybe next weekend, because I feel like this movie is really, really good. In fact, I'm going to make this claim right here. I think this movie could be The Exorcist of our generation. It has all the same feels of the original Exorcist, but then it has that little extra to reach out to our generation, which I feel like movies try and do every couple of years to try and catch the next generation, because if you're younger and you're trying to watch the old movie, you can't always relate the things that happen in it. This one, it brings it more home, I feel like, because it's more hand-at-camera, and you're there with them. I emphasize that a lot, because that's where like some of the real fear comes in, because you're like, oh crap. Now there are some crazy lines in this movie. All of them, which I cannot say here, but what the hell. If you say more than one word, I'm going to rip it. I probably had to bleep that one out. Going to see this movie, I was actually carded. Yeah, I was carded. I was trying to remember the last time I was carded, and I couldn't remember. Luckily, my friend Charles popped in and was like, we were carded for another movie. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But that's not the point here. This is probably the second time I've ever been carded for a rated R movie. I've been going to rated R movie since I was like 12 years old. I get carded for this movie, and then there's an extra little thing. When we go into the movie theater, there's a man standing at the door of the theater checking your tickets to make sure you have the right thing you can get in there. Because they were saying how it's no minutes under the age of 17 without a parent. That was like, whoa, what's going to happen with this movie? Is your face going to melt off as you watch? First, I was just thinking this is another one of those ploys of trying to get people to get into the movie more and all that jazz. But there are some crazy scenes in here. If little kids saw, they'd probably, not sleep for a week. Now, this movie does actually have some downsides to it. In the beginning, it kind of has like a slow rolling to it, where you're introduced to the characters, you kind of figure out what's actually going on here. It builds and builds and builds, but as soon as they get to that first exorcism, that's right, there's more than one in this movie, the movie just goes, I'm gonna actually do that motion again. That's exactly what happens in that movie. It goes from, okay, I feel like I did this motion one too many times. If you're into any kind of like horror movie or anything like that, go see this movie. If you're not really, and you know some people that are, this is a movie you might want to watch. You can watch with some friends in your house. This has been the Hence Review. Hey, now it's time for the weird fact of the week. Dolphins don't drink water. If they drank seawater, it'd possibly make them ill and possibly kill them. They get all their liquids from the food they eat. Water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Because octopuses actually have no bones at all, they can actually fit through an opening that's just a little bigger than their eyeball. Hey, as always, thanks for watching. Check out last week's video if you want, like if you want, and subscribe if you like it. Have a good day. At the end, you're like, and it's kind of,